share Dollar Tree hacks here on my channel. You guys loved it and asked for more, so I am back today with new hacks to help save you time, money, and these have made my life so much easier. A big thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video and helping support Whiskey and Whit. Also a huge support system for me, my craft buddies. So hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining me again this week. I'm so thankful you are always here to DIY with me. If you want to become a craft buddy, it's super easy to do. Just click subscribe down below so you don't miss a future video. And let's get into the hacks.
I stood up from filming that intro and realized that I had a grease stain on my sweatshirt, which was a bummer because this is one of my favorites to craft in. So I'm going to show you how I got it out even after it's been washed and dried. From Dollar Tree, I'm grabbing a container of Dawn as well as some baking soda, and I'm going to mix together equal parts Dawn and baking soda to create a paste. Here I did 1 tablespoon of each, but you can do whatever mixture. A teaspoon of each probably would work for this. I'm going to mix it up into a paste and put it right on top of that stain. Then I'm just taking a clean dish rag, blotting it in, and letting it sink in overnight. Once it's dried overnight, I'm throwing it right into the washing machine. I'm doing a quick wash on the warm setting. Voila! I love this hack because I'm always finding ways to get things on my shirt. Another great hack when using Dawn is to help clean your hair. So I've put dry shampoo in my hair for a few days now as I've been crafting, and it's time to get it out. So you just use a little bit of Dawn dish soap, shampoo as you would, and then you're gonna follow up with a deep conditioning mask. I like this one by Verb from Amazon. I will link it down below. I use it no more than once a month, but it does get all of the gunk out and my hair is ready to go again. I picked up one of these self-adhesive wall tiles in this blue and white as well as a vase a while back, and I decided to take my own spin on a DIY I saw my friend Shannon, the daily DIYer, do. So she took one of these tiles and covered a vase with it to make it look like a really fun decoupaged or tiled vase. I started with that, and what I did is I trimmed down the piece to the height of the glass, and then I peeled off both the sticky as well as the protective layer on the back just to leave the tile. The adhesive wasn't sticking as well as I wanted it to, so I just went through with a little bit of double stick tape as well as some super glue gel from Dollar Tree and hooked it to my vase. Now I am treating the bottom of the vase actually as the top, and you'll see why in just a second. This is one of my favorite hacks I've done in a long time. I was just going to do the tape, but once I got everything on there, I needed the super glue, and you can use some rubber bands to hold it while it sets. Then you can either take a push light or another battery operated light. I'm going to use these ones from Amazon, but you could easily keep this all Dollar Tree if you want. And I am adding this to the top, which is the bottom of the vase, because it gives me a flat surface. This is going to create a wireless lamp, which is what I needed for my house. This is an extra lampshade that I saved from a lamp we got rid of, and it might be a little big now, but actually in the room it looks just fine. I love that I can turn this on with a remote and it looks really beautiful and trendy. The blue and the white is big at the high-end stores right now, and the set that I got from Amazon, it comes with 4 bulbs and 2 remotes. I can dim it. I can also set a 30-minute timer, and I don't have to worry about Finn grabbing any cords. This time of year, there are a ton of parties and barbecues, graduations, teacher appreciation, all the things. So here's how you can dress up a dish to pass. Grab yourself a fun cookie cutter. You can also look at Walmart and Target for their options. They're pretty affordable in price, and you're gonna get yourself some kind of fruit that you wanna take. This works well with things like watermelon, cantaloupe, also muskmelon. You're gonna cut a slice to the thickness that you want, and then take your cookie cutter and slice out your fruit in that shape. Once you get the hang of it, use your cookie cutter to cut out as many shapes as you want in whatever style that you want. And then I grabbed some bamboo skewers to make these really fun patriotic treats. This would be great for Memorial Day, 4th of July, or even just the end of school with the stars. I'm doing grapes, blueberries, some chunks of watermelon, strawberries, and then my fun little stars on the end. If you show up with this tray, you are going to be the guest of honor. And to keep it cold, grab 2 lasagna pans from the kitchenware section, fill the bottom with about a ½ inch of water, and freeze it overnight. Then once it comes out, it's going to be a nice block of ice. Just be careful with the bottom because it's super cold. Take your second one with your fruit, put it on top, and this is a holy grail for things like graduation parties or any type of open house because it's going to keep your food colder for longer. If you need a prettier container than just that aluminum, you can do something similar with their plastic bowls like this. Just make sure you put something inside of it when it's in the freezer so that it stays frozen down, and then you can put your fruit in there and then forego the skewers and just put your stars on top. That's what I love most about hacks is that you can put in minimal effort but look like you tried super hard and give yourself a gold star. See what I did there? It's been a couple months since I've seen these push lights at my Dollar Tree, so when I saw them, I jumped right on it because in my kitchen, I direly needed some under cabinet lights. I've looked at a lot of different options from Amazon, but none of them were $1.25 per item. And then the extra ones that I grabbed, I also put inside my Lazy Susan to make it go from super dark and hard to find things to nice and brightly illuminated. And I also added one to the top of our pantry, so then that way it went from dark and hard to find stuff to nice and bright. Maybe not super organized, but it's nice and bright. This next one is for my kind of people, the DIYers. If you like to spray paint, make sure to grab yourself a plant trolley as well as one of these cookie cooling racks. You're going to put your plant trolley down and then put the cooling rack right on top. It's going to create a little makeshift Lazy Susan to allow you to spray paint whatever you need, keep it up off of your table, or in this case, my spray paint tent here, which is from Amazon. I love it. You can use the little trolley underneath to turn it, get all of your angles, and then when you're done, grab the cookie sheet off. You can put that to the side to dry, and then you can do your next item. This next one is a great organization hack. I grabbed 2 plungers as well as 2 of these little command strips to hang brooms on the wall. I unscrewed the rubber part of the plungers so that I could use the middle parts as dowel rods, remove those stickers, and then I used my Amazon tin snips to cut apart my little hangers. I got rid of the little hook in the center just so I had 2 little pieces. Now I've seen a lot of different folks do this to hang curtains, but I wanted to use it for an organizational item in my craft room. So to make everything match, I spray painted it white. Once that was dry, I put my plunger handle in the little holders so I knew how wide apart they needed to be, peeled off the back and stuck them to the wall. I let them fully adhere for a couple hours, and then I went back in with some of these plant hooks that I get from Dollar Tree. I absolutely love these things. And I added some jute twine as well as some tape because you can pop off the ends. And now the area where I film is a lot more organized.
Inexpensive hacks like that are a great way to spend less and then also save more. And I'm always trying to get creative to find new ways to help you get the most bang for your budget. And a great tool I found for that is Rocket Money, an all-in-one personal finance manager that can help you lower bills, manage subscriptions, build your savings, and monitor your credit score, all from their app. As a super creative person, finances usually aren't my strong suit, so Rocket Money has really helped. I downloaded it last year to help me cancel some subscriptions because we've all been there. You do a free trial and you think, okay, I'm going to cancel this before I get charged, and then you forget about it until you get charged. Bonk. Rocket Money scanned my transactions and flagged subscriptions that I might have been wasting money on. And then all you do is go through and hit a button to cancel. Before this, I had to call somebody or I had to go on a treasure hunt on their website. No more. Rocket Money does all the hard work for you. It also helps me better understand my business spending, and I can set budgets by quarter or category like craft supplies, which that spending needed to be put in check. I also love that I'm always in the know about my credit score now, and they'll send me notifications if anything happens to impact it. Rocket Money is trusted by more than 3.4 million members. So if you would like to try Rocket Money for free, plus unlock more features with premium, head over to rocketmoney.com/whiskey-wit. All of that will be linked down in the description for you, and you can also scan this QR code that will take you right there and you can get started.
Every time I'm in Dollar Tree this time of year, I always check out their garden section because they have a lot of multi-purpose items like these hooks that I showed you in the last project. I like to grab both the small and the large ones for a lot of different things. I love to use them outside on our deck for wet beach towels. It's as easy as hang and let them dry. I also like them in my closet because we never shut this door, so I hang one in the center, and this is the small one, and I'm able to hang up my clothes for the next day, so it's ready to go, easy to find, and it's right there on the door. They're also great in the bathroom. I hang them up over the little shower curtain bar, and I use it for Finn's towels, as well as this little kneeling pad we use when we give him a bath. It's nice to get it up off the floor, and if it's wet at all, this helps it dry. Another way I use them in the bathroom is downstairs in our powder room. I hang it up and then I use Finn's little VTech tablet that we've been using for potty training. Again, up off the table and out of the way. They're great for things outside too, outside of your plants. I use these 2 big ones to hang up my post sign. I have a post that I hang this on, but this would be a great alternative if you want to make this and not have a freestanding post. I also love to use them to hang a wreath in this opening on our porch. Super easy peasy, and it makes this side of the porch not look so blah. You guys have heard me say multiple times before that I have a hard time not feeling like Dollar Tree flowers are tacky, but I'm going to show you how I make them Whitney approved. So I grabbed some of these dogwood branches as well as some of these like kind of magnolia cherry blossom looking ones. And all you have to do is take off the tag and get rid of these little green leaves. With the brown branches and the green leaves, it just looks extra cheap. But once you get rid of those, they look like $1,000,000. These could easily be way more expensive at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And I like to bend the bottom to help me get my desired height. I just bent the branches in a way that I wanted them and it was ready to go. This looks so much better than having all of those little green buds all over it. And I did the same thing with some of these smaller ones as well. I'm removing all of the small little green pieces. You can just pop them off. And then I'm cutting off the leaves at the bottom and I'm popping off all of the brown pieces at the top. We're going to put those to the side and get rid of any other pieces of green. And I just quickly spray painted these a dark brown color. I don't know why Dollar Tree did the bases green and the tops brown. It just looked so weird to me. But once they're brown and dry, you can just put all those pieces back on. And these look so much better without the green and everything being brown in my thrifted DIY vase. So this is how I take them from drab to Whitney Fab. I'm always looking for timeless ways to incorporate family photos in my house. So when I saw these 5x7 frames at Dollar Tree, I thought this was it. I took some of our favorite family photos from our favorite photographers, Palette of Light out of Rockford, Illinois. I will link their information down below if you're local. Check them out. They are amazing. And then I went into Google Docs to size them to 5x7. Now, if they were a little small and didn't give me 5x7, I went ahead and made the height 7 and the width was a little bit bigger. I figured I could always trim them. Now, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally printing it out on regular printer paper. And then I'm just going to trim them down, use some double stick tape to mat it to the page and the mat that already came in the frame. I really like that it has a white mat and a black frame. The mats at Dollar Tree really level up the picture frames. And that's it. Easy peasy, but the black and white really makes it look high end. And you also aren't having any colors in your photos interact with any of your decor. So you're not having like an orange picture with like a red piece of decor or pink flowers. It really fits my neutral vibe and I love these so much. When it comes to Dollar Tree, one of the biggest hacks I preach all the time is look in the seasonal section with an open mind. So I found these beautiful little jute orbs in the nautical section. A lot of you told me you don't even check there because you don't decorate with nautical stuff, but these can fit into a farmhouse decor, into a modern organic decor. Same thing with this like hyacinth basket. I'm going to use it for earrings and jewelry to kind of gather everything. But they also had a bunch of different kinds, some nautical, some not. So if you look to the left, that is the one in the general section with this little weaving straw plate assorted tag. And then there's also one in the shore living nautical section that has a tag. So these are the more round ones and they look really cute with these beads from just the crafter square section. But then there were also a couple of other colors that I grabbed and it fits right into my decor. Another thing I'm loving right now are bead strands. This was perfect minus the rainbow. So all you have to do is pull the excess off, trim off the rainbow, and then tie it back up and nobody would know that there was any rainbow on there. These easily sell for $8.99 plus at places like Marshall's and Hobby Lobby, and I paid much less. While you're wandering through Dollar Tree, always keep your eyes peeled for name brand things. I take these apple cider vinegar gummies every day and I pay a lot more than $1.25 for 30. On Amazon, they are $13.49 for a 60 pack, so you get that for $2.50 at Dollar Tree. I also grabbed some of these Calm Bites. It's the exact same size and they go for $8.49. So that is a huge savings. I stocked up. I really like the Goli brand and their vitamins, and this is a great way to save. If you like soft chocolate chip cookies that melt in your mouth, this hack is for you. You're going to want to pick up some Jell-O vanilla pudding. I usually do the instant, but either will work. And I follow the Nestle Toll House cookie recipe, so I will link that down below. You're going to do your sugars and butter, mix that all together. Then you're going to add your eggs, vanilla, and the whole packet of the pudding mix. You don't have to add anything else, but the way this reacts within the dough, it's going to give you amazingly moist cookies. Once that's all mixed together, then in goes your dry ingredients, which is flour, baking soda, and salt. And then once that's all combined, you are going to add your chocolate chips, fold them in, and then I like to use a 1¼ tablespoon cookie scoop, but you could also use spoons to do this. I put them on parchment paper. They go in the oven at 350, starting at about 9 minutes. It's anywhere from 9 to 12 minutes, depending on your oven. Just keep an eye on them, and what you're going for is the brown on the outside, but just nice and kind of fluffy, doughy on the inside. Let them completely cool, and these things are heavenly. My dad was here the day that I was cooking these, and he definitely approved as well. All right, so what about my craft buddies who aren't big bakers? No worries, I'm gonna make your house smell like you are. Preheat the oven to 300 degrees, put 2 capfuls of vanilla extract in an oven-safe container. I use my Pyrex. Pop it in, and after about 25 to 30 minutes on that 300 degrees, your house is gonna smell heavenly. Growing up, I feel like the houses that had like table settings out, even when they weren't serving a meal, like felt really put together. And so I aspire to be that house. I picked up some of these chargers and plates from Dollar Tree, and the baby blue ones I'm working with now are in the nautical section, but then the other ones were more in the kitchen section. I just took some napkins I had, but you can also use Dollar Tree hand towels, and I'm just layering them onto the table. The table setting is about $3 if you include everything, and you can just put these out on the table. It's no big deal. You don't have to keep them washed if people are coming over. They are just nice for color, and you can also adapt them for pretty much every summer holiday, from Memorial Day and 4th of July to if you do lemons or nautical or beach theme, whatever you do, this blue is going to work as a base, and you can add in whatever little trinket that you have. One of my must grabs every time I'm in there are these mesh laundry bags. You get a pack of 3 for $1.25, and I love them not only for organizing Finn's toys around our house in the playroom, but they're also great for road trips. I fill them with books and cars and snacks, and it's great for the car because all I have to do is set him in the seat next to him. He can reach them to get out what he needs, but it keeps everything contained, and it's also easy for me to turn around and hand it to him at a stoplight or something if I need to. Another kid-approved hack is with these freeze pops. As the weather gets warmer, the kids want them, but Finn can never eat a whole one, let alone eat enough that are in those bags of like 100 at Walmart. So I grab these smaller ones, and what I do is I break them apart, and then I fold them in half, and where the juice falls on either side is going to create 2 freeze pops in the mini toddler size rather than having all of those large ones. I just put them in a cup, but you could use whatever you have. I put them right in the freezer, and then when you're ready to use it, I go ahead and just cut it in half, and I'm ready to give it to Finn. Then that's about a serving size for him, and I don't have to worry about him like dumping the rest of the juice. And if it's too cold, you can add a paper towel. That's another one of my favorite hacks for these. Let's keep it going with the third one for Finn for the toddler trifecta. Our new favorite thing is to run around the house, and I was worried he was going to run into our island. So I grabbed a pool noodle, and I just took some scissors, trimmed it right up the center, and I'm using it as kind of like a little like baby protectant. I liked this because it was thicker, it fit right over our island, and I trimmed off any excess and used them on any other corners I was afraid he was going to run into. That corner he comes around is pretty tight, and he can get a little wild, so Mom feels a lot better now with that there, knowing he's not going to bonk his head off of it. Something else that'll work really well for the summer months is buffalo check or gingham painting. Here's how you can do it with just some Dollar Tree masking tape. I'm using this nautical sign, and I'm just going to remove the tag at the top, the little hanger, and then we're going to paint the entire thing white. Next, we're going to add our stripes. So the paint color that I'm going to use needs to be a lighter variation of what I want my squares to be in my buffalo check. So I'm going to mix a little bit of that blue with white and make a lighter blue. Once that's mixed, I'm going to take my painter's tape and I'm going to start by taping off vertical lines. I like to use this little spacer, and I just put it next to each line and go across. Once everything's pressed down, go ahead and paint it and let it dry. Once that dries, peel off those pieces of tape and put it to the side because you're going to need to use them again later. For our next step, it's crucial that it's dry because you're going to put painter's tape right over the top. Use that same spacer to make sure they're even all the way up. And then before we paint, this is a must do, make it or break it moment. take a utensil of some sort and mark where the white lines are. This is going to help you put your tape back when you're done painting. So I'm just marking either side of the line and putting an X where the white is because that's where you're going to want to put your tape back. And I wanted to make sure that it was fully dry, so I took my little hair dryer, made sure everything was dry, and then I'm going to go back through and replace that original set of vertical tape. Once that's all back on there, make sure everything is pressed down good, and then we are going to go over the top with that original blue color. So full octane, no white mixed in. And that tape layout is going to only leave open where your lines overlap, where you need that darker color. Let it dry about 25%, 30%-ish through, and then I go ahead and peel the tape off. I don't like to let the blue squares fully dry because it usually might catch or seal down and you're going to have some paint peeling. I had a couple little bleeds, no worries. I just had my little paintbrush there to fix anything. And once it's all touched up, let it fully dry. And I think my buffalo check looks better when it's roughed up, but that's up to you. I'm using 150 grit sandpaper to give it a really good sand, and that's also going to help the colors blend as well. You could leave it as is or add a Cricut stencil or decal, but buffalo check is not as intimidating as you might have thought. I recently did a thrift flip video where I made a lot of faux stone items, and I found this pot at Dollar Tree and I wanted to try the same effect. So I use plaster of Paris, but you could also use Dollar Tree spackling to get a similar effect. And I'm mixing 2 parts of this dry plaster of Paris mix with water, just with a plastic fork. And you want a thick pancake batter consistency. As you can see, this first run just ran right off. So once I made a thicker consistency, it started to stick much better. I let these dry overnight, and then I went back through with another coat to really help cover any of those areas where the yellow was showing through. I didn't cover the entire thing, but I was trying to go in different directions to make it really look rough. I gave that another about 6 hours to dry, and then I went outside and spray painted it this London gray color. I originally thought I was going to do like a multi-tone effect, but with the white kind of popping through, I thought this looked beautiful. So I got the outside as well as the inner rim, let them dry because I did 2 of them, and then I went through with a clear coat of spray paint just to make sure they weren't going to chip on me. Now you want to be careful with these in your house because if you drop them, the plaster might crack, so just put them up somewhere where they aren't going to fall over. But this looks so great in our living room. It adds some great much needed texture. I just added a pool noodle remnant as well as this little plant that I got from Home Goods a long time ago, and it adds some nice color and texture to our living room.
That's going to do it for this round of Dollar Tree hacks. Be sure to head down to the comments and let me know what was your favorite. And also while you're down there, check out more info on today's sponsor, Rocket Money. You can head to rocketmoney.com/whiskey-wit to get started, or you can scan this QR code right here on the screen. If you're not already a craft buddy and subscribe to this channel, be sure to do so before you leave so you don't miss any future content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!